Nigerian legislature shall operate freely in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Because I'm well-honed, I've apprenticed, and I appreciate what it means and what the doctrines of separation of power is all about. I therefore charge all of you who are here to work very hard to win your election. Because if you work hard to win your election for the first time, or perhaps most recently, our people will be very proud to have a government that shall practice the true separation of powers. Let me return to the basic roles of legislature under the Constitution. In simple terms, the legislature performs three basic roles, namely lawmaking, representation, and oversight. It has been observed that the legislative functions under the 1999 Constitution include the following among others: A. Lawmaking and policy formulation functions. B. Oversight functions. C. Investigative functions. D. The role of the watchdog of public funds, derived from the legislature's powers and duties with regard to public finance. E. Its representative or constituency responsibilities roles. And I explain to you what I mean here. Simply connotes the efforts that are targeted at improving the living conditions of any given society. In its broader definition, social change implies societal reconstruction or re-engineering, and it is essentially aimed at altering existing sociological conditions for the benefits of the people. Against this background, therefore, the legislature as an instrument of social change is perceived as a very potent and vital weapon for achieving societal reconstruction and re-engineering with a view to ensuring the greatest good for the greatest majority in any law-governed society. Social change overall, however, has resulted in beneficial advances in human society, indicating that humankind is progressing towards a society that will allow all people to live in peace and prosperity. It is pertinent to ask at this juncture whether the Nigerian legislature has been an instrument for social change. My answer is yes, in that the National Assembly has, at least in the 15 years since the return to democratic rule, enacted a number of legislations that have had far-reaching impact on the lives of Nigerians. The House seeks to build a new image for the legislature, a strong, vibrant, effective legislature able to assert itself as an important partner with other arms of government in the delivery of good governance, according respect to the rule of law and due process. Am I right? Yes. That will end very shortly. Without sounding immodest, I believe the House, under the current leadership, has largely realized the goals we set in the new legislative agenda. Like it was observed earlier, one of the critical areas of focus by the new legislative agenda is the review of the 1999 Constitution. And I'll give you an explanation to this. If you recall the questions that were also being confronted with in Jos in the Plateau State, the issue of indigent-settler relationship. We have had many lives lost because of these matters. We therefore decided to take the bull by the horn, ask patriotic Nigerians that our brothers and sisters should stop the bloodshed. Once our constitution provides that you can choose which state you belong to, not necessarily the state of your birth, is now a case of choice, not a must that you must return to Yobe if you are from Yobe. If people migrate from Yobe State to be part of Imo State, we should freely and willingly accept them. I must say, recognizing the need to make Nigerian citizens feel very secured in any part of the country they may find themselves as a result of voluntary migration or displacement. The social impact of this is enormous, as it will foster cooperation and unity among Nigerians, the point where Nigerians are considered based on who they are and their contribution to society rather than where they come from. Nigerians. When eventually enacted, this will bolster the Human Development Index of Nigeria by ensuring that citizens are granted access to basic health and education facilities. It will essentially make the rights justiciable, and as such, the government will be further held accountable on those issues. Now, for us in Imo, let me bring it down. When a man who is elected to the governor tells you, I will give you free education, and that is the basis of running an election, then you know that man has something to offer. As Nigeria, and therefore cannot be in our favor. So in the weeks to come, listen carefully, in the weeks to come, you will not hear me campaigning with free education at all levels. Because it is your right. Since it's your right, I therefore do not have to remind you about your rights. It is what ordinarily you are entitled to and what you get. By the fact that you pay taxes, and by the fact that your children, our children, must be educated, and it is the responsibility of the state to educate our children. So I will not tell you I will offer you free education. You are not excited about this. This is a fundamental achievement, the Human Development Index of Nigeria, by ensuring that citizens are granted access to basic health and education facilities. It will essentially the UBE Act, which guarantees free and compulsory basic education. The proposed constitutional amendment now makes basic education not just free and compulsory, but a constitutional right. We believe that free education should not be political gimmick. If and when I'm elected governor of Imo State, education will not only be free, but must be qualitative. I think that is different. As I said, are you happy with this? Are you happy with this? Will you accept a 46% pass for no. The option is for us to vote out this government that put us in this world of shame. As a legislator, I believe that the way to make free education irreversible is to anchor it on legislation. This will move it from a mere government policy measure, the legal commitment by the state. We respect the health. The proposed constitutional amendment guarantees to Nigerian citizens the right to free primary and maternal health care services. Only recently, the national, which has now been assented to by the President, it is aimed at bringing health care to the doorsteps of every Nigerian in an affordable manner to all Nigerians and promote and regulate health insurance schemes in Nigeria. The legislation includes Pension Reform Repeal and Enactment Act 2014, which provides for the Uniform Contributory Pension Scheme for the public and private sectors in Nigeria. It establishes a uniform is not in practice in Imo State, in spite of the fact that it's a law already in practice in Nigeria. This retrogressive government of Rochas Okorocha in Imo State has failed characteristically to obey yet again the laws of the land. When I become your governor, we shall act in line with the provisions of the Pension Reforms Act. It is, but I know we have existing hospitals. Don't we have? We have existing general hospitals. And what we should have done is to activate them, reactivate them, and provide infrastructure. Infrastructure is not just about building, but it's because of lack of understanding and lack of knowledge that people in government misunderstand infrastructure to mean go and build new houses. And when you build them, put them by the main roads so that people can see that new structures are coming in. How can you locate hospitals to the main roads? Is that the right way to go about it? What are you trying to achieve? Onde J Hospital or Kamoto Kubo Hanos or the platforms that be under through this exercise are criminal. And I believe if they were put in good use, if they were being put for the good of our people, we would have revitalized 27 general hospitals in Imo State. I assure you, because I'm aware that health is wealth, and because I'm aware that basic health is fundamental to all of you. By the grace of God, when I become your governor, within 6 months, you will see it through. You will see it through change. Yes. It is not difficult to attain that. Because if you do not provide for basic health care facility, then anybody and everybody is at risk, including the man. That was why when our governor was injured, just a little bruise in his head. What happened? It was what? What happened? Now go and check him. I guess we are living by the grace of the Almighty God. I don't think that is the way to survive. I do not know if the state government today has in its employed a medical consultant. I doubt if they have. And the last time I checked, I was aware we had none. We depend only on the consultants from the Federal Medical Center in Owerri. But the state government has budgets and votes for health care services. We should bother what's been happening to the funds which were voted for these purposes. There is also the Money Laundering Prohibition Amendment Bill 2012 have a legal backing. Therefore, government could have a policy that wipe it out. But through this legislation, our people now earn legitimate means of income. The others, the legislature can deliver on its constitutional mandate, which is primarily to ensure good governance and probity into the conduct of public policy. The citizenry should try and be patient with the legislature, as the process of lawmaking could be very laborious and time-consuming. But I promise you one thing, and under my watch, by the grace of God, from May 29, 2015, Imo will practice a model of democracy. As the only arm of government that is closest to the people, the legislature exists to serve the best interest of all, irrespective of class, gender, or creed. Once again, expressing my deep appreciation for this second opportunity accorded me to deliver this lecture. I am also aware, and I've been told that this is the very first time this lecture has been held outside of Lagos, where ordinarily we are based. I'm also conscious of the fact that this is a very significant year. These are 25 years since you established Champion Institute. Guest lecturer, at this opportune time, is a man that God will use to make him a better state. I haven't contributed my quota positively thus far in national development. Our state deserves to also be better. May I thank all our invited guests and members of the public, gentlemen of the press, for finding time to be here, but most importantly, to this audience who have been very wonderful students, who have listened to me very patiently, very interestingly, and I guess that for all intents and purposes, for yourselves and to yourselves, for having made my lecture very, very interesting, I guess, for making it easy for me to communicate to you, because once you have an audience that is listening patiently, that is very attentive. For listening to me, I thank you for being patient with me. I thank you for the privilege and honor of this lecture. May God bless Champion, may God bless Imo State, and may God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Put your hands together, stronger. Yeah.
I just said to come. I'll do this flag session. Do necessary.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, can we have our seats? Thank you. Thank you. Let's move on. Let's move on. The recognitions, the acknowledgement.
Now, take a fine nation
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thus His Royal Majesty Dr. Lettuce Ileomonia and his entourage. I can also see a man. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a royal presence.
Prof, join them, sir, and they hold the book. Well, our own general, the representative of the governor of Abia State, I think this is the right hand. You also hold the book because you're a commissioner for information. You need information everywhere. You can have it. Those who are experts in book unveiling are helping the deputy speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the unveiling has been done, and the number 6 citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has already presented it publicly, saying that Nigeria, everybody who is interested should now put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. I can see so many people, they have chop in their hands, so they cannot clap. Those only Rutube, you can put your hands together. Each Nigerian standing with copies of the book. Well, champion.
Once more, my pleasure to unveil this book, which I have done. I thought I had concluded it, and they said I have not finished unveiling. So I don't know what else is there to unveil in this book, except you want me to check unveil page by page.
No, you're
taking for granted that I'll support how it was produced. I unveil this book with a handsome support to a newspaper that promoted the cause of our people, to a paper that had championed the cause of our people, to a paper that had advanced the cause of our people, to a paper that has to be rejuvenated, a paper that will take us to the promised land, and a paper that will continue to inspire us. I therefore have the singular honor and pleasure to unveil this book with a handsome envelope, which I would pass on to my director, I do it with all pleasure. But please don't bug me. You know, I'll choose, because of what champion represents, to do what I'll do very quietly and very privately. But it should be very handsome. So when I speak, I'm sure others don't.
Okay. His Excellency, Right Honorable Chukwuemeka Iyedioha, CON, to receive the Award of Humanity. It's wonderful.
Congratulations.
He said he never knew he was going to receive the award, but we just noticed.
This is the award.
Oh, the award, okay. Congratulations.
This is wonderful. Award for humanity, development, mankind, and everything.
Congratulations, Your Excellency.
They have to give you a certificate for the lecture.
Yes, thank you.
Is there anything more? No, he wants
That's the grand
okay.
and grand.
The chairman of Champion Newspapers